Virginia. For me, this is NC State has continuity at quarterback position with C.J. Bailey returning. Virginia's got a lot of new players here. You're going to attack the first half with the under. Tell us why.
Yeah, you obviously, you talk about Virginia and they got a lot of, rebuilding to do. They're coming off their best season last year in a long time. 11-3, went to the ACC championship game. And NC State, though, beat them last year. And NC State has had their number. They've won 6 of the last 7 meetings. They're 5-2 against the spread in those games. The Virginia side, they had the success. Now you got to bring in a new quarterback. They're bringing in the Missouri quarterback, Bo Pralula. And, he came in last year when he got his chance at Missouri, come in, I think, after an injury. First few games were pretty good, and there was a lot of buzz, and then he tailed off at the end of the season. So now he transfers over here to Virginia. You're going to have some growing pains. There's no question about that. As you said, NC State's bringing back their quarterback, C.J. Bailey, who had a great year last year. So you would expect continuity better on the NC State side as far as the quarterbacks go. But if you look at the NC State losses from last year, personnel-wise, he lost his 3 top receivers, an All-American or an All-ACC tight end. So, it's not going to be an instant fix. I think there's going to be growing pains on both teams. What the Missouri quarterback does bring to Virginia is he is a dual-threat quarterback. He can run the football. And the strength of this Virginia offense is going to be that offensive line. So I think you're going to see them try to run the football early to establish, and set up the running game for later. And then with NC State and all of the losses they had personnel-wise to skill players, I think they're going to have a little bit of growing pains as well. What's all that add up to? Well, it adds up to an under. Now, if you look at this game and you look at where the number opened on this game and where it sits now, there has been some serious money come in on the under, and I think it's sucked some of the value out for the full game. But I'm going to go ahead and look at the first half because, as I said, this is going to be, I think, tight, filling things out. And I'll tell you something else. I got a stat for you, and this one's courtesy of Stat Daddy Ralph Michaels. When you have 2 conference foes match up in a season opener, which doesn't happen a lot, you go back since 2015, the record is for the under in this situation, 26-11-1. Obviously, it's a, conference matchup. You play a little tighter to the vest, to get things started. It is the first game of the season. So I'm going to go ahead. I do like under the full game, but I think some of the value is sucked out. I'm going to go first half under 26.5.
All right, Marco likes the under in the NC State Virginia game. Marco, we have some people asking about the horses. You got a video up that breaks this down in detail, though, correct?
In absolute detail. We went through the field of 10. I gave you my thoughts on all 10 horses. So I know you guys, love the big races, and because it is week 0 and there's not a lot of good action in college football this week, I had a chance to break the Travers down in detail. So check that video out. And of course, on my package that we're selling for Saturday, which has a 5% college futures bet in there, I am going to put all of my Saturday plays in there. So you're going to get college football that I have on Saturday, that 5% futures play, any baseball, any WNBA, and you will have my actual betting selections for the Travers, how I am betting it. But I do give you the full detail in that video. Check it out on our YouTube channel.
All right, WT.buzz/MD. Get 5% best bet. You get the horses, you get college football, and much, much more. That's over at Marco's page. All right, Memphis, UNLV. I can't believe the coach came out and said this. Are they really going to play 2 quarterbacks in this game? That's what he announced. And if so, I'm out. I'm out. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, it's situation where, you say things too. You do put up smoke screens. Maybe you are going to play two, but one is going to get the majority of the snaps. But what it does is causes defenses and defensive coordinators to have to prepare for both. I'm looking at this game, and for me, what has happened with UNLV the last few years now, this is going to be year two with Coach Mullen taking over. He inherited a program that Barry Odom absolutely turned around, and then Barry Odom ran to Purdue, and how'd that work out last year? But when you have success, you're a program like UNLV that, you're not in a marquee conference and you get a player that does well, what's going to happen? He's going to go somewhere else where he's going to get more money. And that's what's happened 3 years in a row with their starting quarterback. So you've got to break in a new quarterback, again, whichever quarterback that it's going, to be. And then you look at the situation with Memphis. They've got some wholesale changes as well. A new head coach comes in, Charles Huff, third team in 3 years. Head coaching wise for Mr. Huff. And usually that's not a good thing. If you have 3 different jobs in 3 different years, that probably means you got fired. No, he's moving around because he's doing well at all the programs and he's improving them, and he keeps stepping up the ladder. So I do like this. They've brought a lot of players in, and a lot of people are, there's wholesale changes at Memphis. Well, you know what? That's today's college football. When a coach changes addresses, he brings a lot of players with him. So that gives him a little bit of a jump start, at the new program. I think this is a spot where UNLV, their Achilles heel has been the last several years. It's not been offense. They always seem to find their way offensively, but it's been defensively. And I don't want to lay points with a defense that was as bad as UNLV's was last year. Now, the good news is they lost 8 people from that defense last year. So, you already had a bad defense. Is it the glass half full or half empty that they're all gone? We don't know. And until they show me they can stop somebody, I can't lay points with UNLV. I'm on Memphis here. I think this is going to be a fun game. I think it'll go, down to the wire. I've got Memphis actually winning the game outright 24-23. And that's where I'm at on this one, guys.